Lugia is out in Pokemon Go for raid battles, so we're going to help you guys get the top counters, 100% IVs, and everything to keep you prepared for this Pokemon in raid battles in Pokemon Go. So welcome to the Trader Club, here we go! Lugia making its way into raid battles on Tuesday the 28th. At 10 a.m. local time, and that will be here all the way until April 10th. So we have 2 weeks with Lugia in raid battles. I think that's cool. I like Lugia as a Pokemon. It hasn't been out for quite a while. Let me know what you guys think as far as this time duration of this Pokemon. Do you like to raid during this time duration, or do you kind of get burnt out after a while? So Lugia is going to be a flying and a psychic type Pokemon. It's going to max out at 4,186. So it's not the highest CP Pokemon, but it is definitely a Pokemon that is a force to be reckoned with in some regards. It is definitely more of a defensive and a stamina Pokemon with a defense of 310. So this Pokemon is definitely going to be a little bit more challenging to take down than some of the more attacker type Pokemon such as Rayquaza and Mewtwo. So with it being electric and psychic, this Pokemon will have a unique 5 weaknesses in Pokemon Go, which will be electric, rock, ice for the flying type, and then dark as well as ghost for the psychic type combination, which then leads us into the 100% IVs, which we all do definitely want to know. So for the 100% level 20, every condition but one condition, it's going to be 2,115. That's going to be the 100% IV. And then at level 25, the one condition that will boost it will be windy weather. Why only windy weather? Because psychic as well as the flying is only boosted in windy weather. So it's a dual typing combined into one condition, which will be 2,645 at level 25 for the 100% IV, which then leads us into the moveset for this Pokemon. The movesets of this Pokemon are going to be Extra Sensory and Dragon Tail. So as far as this Pokemon combination, Dragon Tail may be one of the things that kind of comes in a little bit of a play with one of the Pokemon that we're definitely going to see as a counter, which was a Calm Day Pokemon, if you can remember what that is, and if not, we'll cover it in a second. And then as far as the charge moves, it will get Future Sight, Sky Attack, as well as Hydro Pump. And Hydro Pump is one of those moves that is a very powerful move, and coming off a legendary Pokemon such as Lugia, it is going to hit very hard regardless of which Pokemon we are using, even if it is going to be resistant to water. And then finally, we have Aeroblast, and Aeroblast is going to be a legacy move on Lugia. That means we cannot get it from this Pokemon, and we also are going to need to TM it, but Aeroblast Plus and Plus Plus will only be coming from the Apex Shadow Lugia. So unfortunately, those movesets are stronger than Aeroblast, but unfortunately, once again, we do not have access to those moves because they only came from that Apex Pokemon. So if you guys do want more raid battles, you guys can definitely check in the pinned comments or description of the video to get into the Discord totally free to be able to help you get more raid battles, or if you want to get into the more premier access, you can jump into the premier Discord raiders. You can get into 2 raid groups, or you could also get into the elite and raid with me and my crew. That's definitely going to be in the pinned comments through the Patreon. So definitely check that out if it's something that you're interested in. Can't wait to raid with you guys. We'll see you guys raiding and getting a bunch of shinies. So then that leads us on to this Pokemon. How many trainers are we going to need to take it down? So I always just gauge it on level 40 trainers and then see if it's going to be duoable. 3.04 trainers to take it down. Level 40 counters without best friends and the bonuses, which means it cannot be duoed. This Pokemon to be duoed would have to be extremely calculated. Maybe, just maybe, if Mega Mewtwo was out and we had a bunch of Shadow Mewtwo's and they're all maxed to level 50 under the right condition, like, it's insane to be able to potentially do that, but right now it cannot be duoed. So with that said, now let's go over the counters of the Shadow Pokemon. The reason why I cover the Shadow Pokemon first, if you don't care about Shadows, you can check the timestamps and skip to the next section, is because Shadow Pokemon are some of the strongest Pokemon in the game, but they are harder to get. They cost a premium. For XL Candy, 360 to max out, so that 360 XL Candy will be definitely a premium and cost obviously 64 more XL Candy than would a regular Pokemon, but in some situations it would be worth it. In other situations, probably worth to pass up. In spot number 4, we do have Thundershock and Wild Charge on the Shadow Raikou. In spot number 5, we have Shadow Weavile with Snarl and Avalanche, and then in spot number 6, we have Shadow Electivire with Thundershock and Wild Charge on the Electivire. So those are going to be the top Shadow Pokemon recommended. If you want to go for more of the budget versions, you obviously can go for the Electivire. I wish I had a good Shadow Electivire. It's something that I do value. I think this Pokemon's great, and it is a non-premium XL candy. So now taking away these Pokemon, let's talk about the Mega Boost. What's going to be the best case scenario here? Because I always recommend that you guys go after the Mega Boost as opposed to having these Pokemon take it down faster. I think it's a much better strategy, but you have to have a Mega Level 3 to optimize the XL candy coming from these raids, because I want you guys to save money, time, effort, and all the likes, and that's how you do it with the Mega Level 3s. So for this Pokemon, it's a flying and a psychic type. So if we're running through everything, we have Mega Charizard Y, that's going to be flying type. We have Mega Mega Pidgeot. For the Psychic type, we're going to have Slowbro. That one is a Psychic and a Water type combination. The best Pokemon that I would suggest using here for the Mega is going to be Mega Aerodactyl. The reason being on this Mega Aerodactyl is it is a Rock type and a Flying type, so you can use this Pokemon as a counter at the same time, and it's not just a Pokemon sitting on the sidelines like all the other Pokemon that we have talked about. So Mega Aerodactyl is my highest recommendation to use for both types combination here. But as far as more Psychic types, we can use Mega Gardevoir. You can also use Salamence, which is a Flying and a Dragon type, or Mega Latios or Mega Latias for the Psychic type combination there. So those are going to be all the recommended Megas for Mega Level 3 to optimize the XL Candy coming out. But the top counter in the game is actually going to be Mega Gengar. We already know Mega Gengar is super strong, so Shadow Claw or Lick and Shadow Ball is going to be the recommended moveset on this Mega Gengar. It will do a ton of damage, but at the same time, it's very glassy, and it's not going to optimize the XL Candy coming back because it's a Ghost and a Poison type. And then the next we have the Mega Bayonet. So the Mega Bayonet, the one positive to this Pokemon with Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball is that it does not combine with Poison, so it is not going to be weak to the Psychic type moves that the Mega Gengar would be, which makes this Pokemon go down extremely fast. But either way, I would not recommend either of these, but if you do choose whichever one you like. Obviously, the Gengar is much stronger, but the first non-Shadow, non-Mega is going to be Xurkitree, actually, with Thunder Shock and Discharge. This Pokemon, extremely strong. It's actually stronger than the Shadow Raikou, which is extremely impressive coming from a non-Shadow Pokemon versus a Shadow Legendary. That's how strong the Xurkitree is. And then if you're looking for an Electric type combination Pokemon to stab boost all of the Electric type, if you have a very small amount of trainers going with you, you could use the Mega Manectric with the moveset of Thunderfang and Wild Charge. And then we can also use the Mega Houndoom. Houndoom will be weak to Hydro Pump, so I'm going to suggest against that, but Snarl and Foul Play will be the moveset here, which then leads us into the Zekrom. Zekrom will be Charge Beam and the brand new Legacy move now. You will have to Elite TM onto it. Fusion Bolt for this Pokemon is the strongest moveset combination. In spot number 7 is going to be the Mega Aerodactyl with Rock Throw and Rock Slide on this Pokemon. And then the Pokemon that I mentioned earlier in the video that's going to be weak to Dragon Tail will be Hydreigon with Bite and Brutal Swing on this Pokemon. Very, very strong Dark type, but is a Dark and a Dragon, so it will be weak to that Dragon Tail, which it will take a decent amount of damage. But at the same time, this Pokemon coming in will definitely be worth the investment of the Pokemon dying out faster. And then next is going to be the Mega Ampharos, all Electric types. Honestly speaking, guys, I would probably pass on this Pokemon. And then Mega Absol, I would also pass here. And Mega Gyarados also pass once again, which then leads us into the Giratina Origin form with the Shadow Claw and the Shadow Force on this Pokemon. Definitely a Elite TMable move, but very strong at that. Then we have the Thundurus with the Volt Switch and the Thunderbolt. That is the Therian form. Then we have Mega Alakazam, and then we also have the Mega Gardevoir, and then we actually have a new Pokemon here, which is going to be Golden Go with Hex and Shadow Ball. So this Pokemon is actually recommended here, which is very impressive. And then we have Darkrai with Snarl and Shadow Ball. It seems like there's a lot of premium XL Candy Pokemon coming in here. And then we have Smackdown and Rock Wrecker on the Rhyperior, which is a budget Pokemon. Then we have Snarl and Avalanche on the Weavile. It's cool that you can use Weavile's dual type combination to optimize its DPS times TDO here. And then we do have the Ice Fang and the Avalanche on the Darmanitan from the Galarian version. And then we do have Smackdown and Rock Slide on the Rampardos. So that's going to be all the counters. Obviously, there's some legendaries in there and some budget counters, which make it quite cool. Okay, so now on to the weather conditions. What's going to be the weather conditions that we really need to look out for? Number one, to help us take down this Pokemon the fastest, it is going to be rainy weather. Rainy weather will take down this Pokemon the absolute fastest because it's boosting all of our Electric types. Obviously, in the rainy weather, Hydro Pump will get boosted, so it's going to do a lot of damage. Partly Cloudy will boost all of our Rock types, which is something to look out for against this Pokemon. The Snowy weather will boost all of our Ice types, and then we have Foggy weather, which is going to boost Dark and Ghost, which will be taking down this Pokemon also extremely fast. If you are using a Mega Gengar, you're not listening to my XL Candy strategy. Windy weather will boost all of the Psychic, Flying, as well as the Dragon movesets on that Pokemon. It will also boost Lugia to 25 level, which is going to be optimized to power it up for the least, but it will be the strongest, but it's still going to be worth fighting after it in Pokemon Go. So good luck on Lugia. Can't wait to see what you guys do with it. We will have a best of the best video coming out tomorrow for all you guys to check out. So appreciate you guys being here as always. To all of my likers, comments, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes their support, subscription, emphasis, page, 2x. I'm gonna see you guys out on the next video. Peace. I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.